Hello, people. So, this is my 12th video of the day, and people, I was just thinking, should I start, using YouTube as a platform to, as a child, I could say these very eerie ghost stories, and I had like this whole little group form around me of other little 10-year-olds. I remember I was in the fifth standard when I told my first ghost story. And why ghost, you might say? Because from a storytelling perspective, I think I find it very intriguing, and actually before I go into full-blown ghost stories as such, this is an incident that happened with me, and it is closely related to this book that I've written. It's called When a Lawyer Walks Down the Aisle. Um, Basically, this book is about this this septuagenarian ghost who comes visiting a lawyer so that the lawyer take up her own murder case. Pretty intriguing, no? Pretty interesting. So, uh, no, the reason I wrote this book was, I won't say it's a real life ghost story that I experienced, but yeah, it's the closest I have come to seeing any kind of paranormal activity. I've been sitting here alone for so long, so probably that's why I'm getting these ideas to shoot this particular video. And I hope no one comes right now because I don't want to interrupt my flow of speaking. So, anyway, this particular incident took place in there's this very famous ashram in South India, in Bangalore more specifically, and I'm not going to mention it because it's better not mentioning it. And no, because it this ashram was just backdrop, and the reason I mention an ashram here is what I truly believe and what is scientifically seen also, that uh, these beings from another dimension, they find it, the kind of aura that surrounds ashrams and all the beings that cross over to the other side aren't necessarily bad. Yeah, they are like, so many good people also pass away, so they are on the other side. So anyway, during a particular program, like I went there to learn certain classes to this ashram in Bangalore, and I happened to meet this lady uh, who had lost her husband and her child in a very tragic road accident, and the grief of that was so strong that her mother, within 18 days of this lady losing her husband and child, her mother also passed away out of a heart attack. So basically she lost three family members in a span of 1 month. So this lady was a Bengali lady, a very pretty Bengali lady, and you know my heart went out to her, like, because she was saying that the reason she feels her mom passed away was like her mom had brought up her daughter, like her mom was the primary caregiver, and then for that elderly lady to lose her only grandchild, this little girl, and that child was 10 years old when she passed away, and it was the father and daughter who passed away in a road accident. They were on a bike, you know so I remember her telling me this, and I was like feeling so sad, like so sorry for her. And so I have a whole collection of these books on on afterlife, and probably how to even contact people of the other dimension. Like there are these certain books that I had. So I remember telling her of this, and she was quite keen. She was like, "Oh my God, I'd like to read it." And so I said, "Yeah, you please give me your address. I can courier the books to you." Because it was like I felt it would be such a good thing to do. Like when you're in that state, any sort of help coming. So anyway, we finished that course, and this lady went back to wherever she came from, and I had to stay on that ashram for a few more days because I was attending another consecutive course. It was like two courses. I was clubbing and doing it together or something. So it was so weird. The room that I was allotted, I was alone in the room, okay? And but from the time I met the lady and I promised that I'll send her these books, probably from that time onwards, I started getting this feeling that I was being watched. You know, it was very eerie, yeah, that feeling. I mean, did you know a study conducted by one of these Ivy League institutes say that if if I were to stare at your back, if retreating, a person's retreating back, that person cannot see me, right? But they will be able to sense that I'm staring at them. So it's they say, so that's what we consider our eyes. We actually have senses all across. We can sense certain things. So anyway, I was getting this very weird feeling of being watched. And since I was alone, and this feeling was coming to me even when I was alone in my room, in this ashram room, and I didn't want to call my dad or anybody else and tell them, because they would be like, what, you're being watched, oh my god, in some freaky ashram that you are in, just come back right now, like, because nobody would attribute it to any kind of paranormal activity. They would think, there is some very very whatever, creepy sadhu roaming about, and this is what is happening. But it wasn't that. It was, I used to be all alone in the room, still I would get the feeling that I was being watched. So anyway, it just went on like this for like a couple of days. And on the last day that I was there, last night in fact, at around 3 or 4 in the morning, I could distinctly sense that there's some kind of discussion going on. Like, it seemed like there were at least 3 people involved, and except that among those 3 people there was a child also, because uh, children below the age of before they are teenagers or whatever, especially small girls, or in fact small boys also, but children have a certain sing song way of talking, like papa maine kaha it goes like that. So I remember being deep in sleep, and I could hear this discussion. Okay, like they seemed like a very like a heated discussion going on. And in my mind, I remember thinking, oh my god, these ashram folk, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, and they are up and about and having like this major discussion, and just outside my room. It's so irritating. And it's like I was just like saying, I didn't really look up also,